friends, today we're going to learn how to paint 100 different colors on the 100 color challenge. You're going to need your red paintbrush, you're going to need a piece of paper towel, and you're going to need your palette with primary colors, blue, yellow, red, plus black and white. You don't even need a cup of water. You're also going to need your 100 color challenge worksheet, which I will give you. Get your palette ready. And you're going to start with whatever color you want, even just a plain color. See how I got some red and just a little nip of yellow. And you're just going to mix them right in the square, not on the palette. And that red paintbrush is square, just like the shape you're painting in. So that makes it easy to get a nice straight line and put it right into those corners. And you're just carefully mixing those colors. See how I'm turning my hand so that I can get the brush right in that corner. And I always go a little before the line so I can push the paint up to where I want it. So I'm nice and controlled. Anytime you add a little bit of something else, you're changing that color. And see how I'm just kind of mixing it carefully inside the square? And then I come right up to the edge and drag my brush along so that I get nice, even coverage and nice straight lines right inside that square. See how I keep turning my paper around? And see my pinky sticking out there to help me balance my hand and keep it steady? And I go over it a few more times to make sure that it's not too streaky. And then I'm going to get a little bit more of something else. And I mix it up a little bit in the square, kind of smash it around carefully. And then I go right behind the line and push my brush up to the edge so that I get a nice clean edge right inside that square. And that square tipped brush helps me get right in the corner. So don't use the green tapered brush. You want to use the red square tipped brush. And once you get it all up to the edges, you want to kind of go over it a little bit to make sure it's not too streaky and it's well mixed and you have nice even coverage. It's not too gloppy. Now, if you get sick of that color combination, you don't need to rinse your brush in water. Do not rinse your brush in water, in fact. Just get your paper towel and wipe your brush off. That's all you need to do. You won't even notice that you were using reds and yellows before. You can switch to a completely different color. I just picked blue, and you can paint these colors in any order that you want to. Some people like to do it very organized. Some people like to go all over the place. And notice how I kept turning my paper to make it more comfortable for my hand. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You don't have to hold your paper still in one place. Nice even coverage, no streaking. And now I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of white. I'm not mixing it on the paper plate. I'm mixing it in the square. So see how I mix it a little bit in the middle carefully, and then I bring my brush right before the edge and drag it along to get a nice straight line. And then I do the same thing on the edges, and when I want to get right in the corner, that square tipped brush helps me get right into that square corner. Smooth it out a little bit so you have even coverage and it's not too streaky. And then you can just pick a little bit of whatever color you want to do next. Remember, when you add white, you're getting a tint and a lighter value. When you add black, you're getting a shade and a darker value. And if you keep going with some black and white in there, that's adding some gray to the color, and that makes it a tone. Right? Nice and neat in any order. Pick up a little bit of whatever you want to add next. Now, if you want to add black, which you should experiment with that, a little bit goes a very long way. So just barely stick the corner of your brush in there because you want to still be able to see the color. We don't want a bunch of black on your worksheet. Notice I keep flipping my paper around and to make it more comfortable for my hand to paint. Picked up a little bit of yellow there. Mix it inside the square and then carefully bring it up to the edges and carefully bring it into the corner. And make sure that your hand's always resting so that it stays steady. Nice, neat edges. And every time we paint anything in this class, you will get all of your colors from what you see here. Pick up a little bit of something else, mix it inside the square, and then bring it up to the edges and bring it into the corners and drag it along, smooth it out so that you get nice, even squares. It's important for you to learn how to control the paint. There's a time and a place for loose painterly brush strokes, but this is not it. And if you get tired of those colors, all you need to do is just wipe off your brush on your paper towel, and then you can switch to something else. So here's a finished worksheet that is pretty good. Here's some problems. You got 100 different colors, but don't use water. Look what that does to your paint. It washes it out. Make sure you mix your colors really well. Make sure you paint nice and neat inside the squares. Make sure you mix them very well, not streaky. And make sure you have 100 different colors, not too similar. When you finish, put it on the drying rack, and you can turn it in when it's dry, and that is how you do a good job.